Okay, so the next step now is let's do a CountIF for January. I can do CountIF again. Let's go for the range here, and we're going to search for Jan and hit enter. Okay, and Jan looks like it has 3 transactions also. And we could keep doing this over and over again. But instead of doing that, what some of you did in my previous class is instead of typing the month there, you point to the month right here. Close parentheses and hit enter, and now this works the same way. Now the nice thing about putting this cell here, watch what happens when I copy this down, and this gets this entry right here. So at first glance this looks fine, but you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to do a total count again, and I'm going to add up all these values here. Oops, sorry. And I'm going to say sum. If I did this correctly, this should add up to 29. And they both do add up to 29. So that's great. Okay. All right, so this looks good. Now, I think something is still going to be wrong, so I'm going to type here. Let's make this Jan for a second. I'm here in right here. If I make this Jan, my Jan should go up to 4. I'm going to type in Jan, and notice that this went down. This should have went to 4 now because I just added a new 1. Now what's the issue here? If I click here, that looks fine. And that looks fine, but what's going on here is if I... Alright, so this is what's going on. If I click here, this looks fine. If I click here on this next cell, look at this area right here. Notice that this area right here, the selection gets cut off. It's off. Because remember, as I am copying this down, this is shifting. So this is not correct anymore. And look, when I get to the last one, it's completely skewed now. Now, of course, some of you, I'm sure, figured it out already. I want to go back to the first one, focus on the range, and make this absolute. I'm going to hit the F4. But for some reason, if your F4 does not work, remember what you're doing is you are putting a $sign in front of the column, a $sign in front of the row. That makes the entire cell absolute. You're locking it. You're locking the column and you're locking the row. I'll then copy this down, and notice now I get 29 and 29. Okay, so this seems to be working fine now. Okay, so leave this as, I think this was September before. Okay, so notice that both of these numbers match up. So that means we did it correctly. Okay, so this is us using the CountIF with an absolute here. Absolute referencing right here. All right, with that, good luck, and let's keep playing with Excel.